welcome again to the builders. And today, when we say builders, it's plural because today, for the first time, we have two guests. I checked the numbers. Correct me if I'm wrong. You've financed like 14,000 cars with this scheme.
Yeah. We've been in the mobility space for over a decade, and that's as founders. I mean, we've done $250 million transactions
in
vehicles.
Turnover.
Yes,
in Nigeria.
Yeah, in Nigeria and Kenya now. Yeah, right.
Well, predominantly Nigeria. Let's say 90% of it is Nigeria.
Yeah. Wow. And we still have 0% default, right? As far as the financing is concerned.
For our demo day, we spoke to about 80 investors, and we got 68 no's. Wow. We got 12 yeses. Again, 12 is what you need. Every time an investor says no, we'll figure out the reason. We have to do a debrief why this person saying no. The no's are more important.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they refine your pitch to the next person.
Right.
So by the time we are going to get the first years, it seems like an almost perfect pitch.
I remember YC days.
Yeah.
We started with 50 million naira in terms of access, but now we're doing over 5 billion.
Wow.
With one of them.
If Africans are not investing, why should a foreigner do it?
Were you ever broke?
Yeah.
You know, the two of you just sound like a married couple. It's just amazing. Welcome again to the builders. And today, when we say builders, it's plural because today, for the first time, we have two guests who are the founders of a very innovative new venture, relatively new venture that is disrupting the vehicle financing value chain. Their company is called Shekel Mobility. They'll explain what they do and why it's really important for Nigeria and indeed for Africa. So welcome today, Benjamin, Oladokun, Sanmi,
thank you,
Olukanmi, two founders out of the Shekel Mobility team. And let's get straight into it. So Shekel Mobility, you are providing vehicle financing for whom and why?
Okay. So Shekel Mobility, and of course, prior to that, we've been in the mobility space for over a decade, and that's as founders.
What does mobility space mean?
So mobility is essentially like movement of vehicles.
Okay.
Right. So as far as, you know, when it comes to, you see Move, the players like Move.
Okay.
Yeah. So different players in different sectors. So, but what we are focused on is dealerships.
Right.
Because we found that as far as auto trade is concerned, dealers are when I say car dealers, I mean car dealers.
Yes.
Car dealers are like the most important, I'll call them the MVPs of the space.
Right.
For the most part, they, you know, if you want to buy a car today, everything really trickles around because the way, you know, the country is structured, Africa generally, quite fragmented. So most of the transactions start and end with dealers.
Right.
So we're focused on that vertical.
Right.
Supporting dealers. We start out with just local financing, you know, import financing, but as it is, it's just providing all the supports, you know, from, you know, A to Z.
To allow a dealer to sell cars to the end user.
Absolutely.
And I checked the numbers, correct me if I'm wrong, you've financed like 14,000 cars with this scheme.
Yeah.
It's quite incredible.
Yeah.
So tell us, why haven't I heard about you? Or do I have to be a dealer to have heard about you?
Well, I would say that was partially my fault. They always say I don't like to spend too much money on marketing, but anyways.
But I think that it's actually also, because the space we're in, right, is also one where the dealers are, I mean, we are in the space, within the space, so it's an ecosystem. Right, that we know these dealers. Right. So for the most part, we've not, you know, just...
You don't need to market.
We don't need to market.
It's a B2B space.
Oh, it's B2B.
So, and the repeat purchase from the customers is there.
Right.
They're not going to do one-off transactions, so it's not like it's consumer rights.
Right.
I promise that you hear more of us because now we'll be doing more of marketing.
Right.
And I think the reason why we announced what we want to step it up now, as far as that is concerned, is dominance, right? So I think for the most part, you know, I generally say that the process for, you know, startup is you start with the pain, you know, then you sort of serve them, and then you sort of also get into understanding the processes, the product, and then the platform. So we're at that final stage now where, okay, now let's take it all over the, I mean, I want to say the world, but like,
why not?
But I mean, so what I mean is like, we're definitely connecting the world as far as like supply and, you know, demand is concerned. So for the most part now, I would say before the end of this year, you're just going to see a new Shekel Mobility, because the thing is, for us right now, especially in terms of how we're, the cross-border infrastructure that we've built, is one that the demand is so huge. And we've also set up a lot of partnerships, that would, like literally save the markets. Yeah.
So one of the things I read about your company is that you don't necessarily require collateral. And that's really innovative in the space, because very few. How do you manage that risk?
So I wouldn't say outrightly you're not recognizing or having collaterals backed loan.
Right.
What we just did is recognize that the vehicles themselves are the assets.
Yeah.
So why are they not the collateral? Why?
Right.
And that kind of releases the dealers from being restricted to selling.
But the collateral belongs to you.
Yeah, technically, but the dealership have access. The thing is, the dealer doesn't want to own the car. It wants to have the ability to make money on the cars and transaction.
Right. So you're financing their inventory.
Yeah, more like a floor plan financing. The difference is we go beyond that. We also get involved in from end to end, from the finding. We help you to finance it. We help you to fulfill it, the movement of the assets up down to Nigeria, and also we get involved in helping you to sell as well.
Yeah.
So it's a big market, is it?
Quite.
Really?
Yeah, quite.
So do the dealers have like, I want this specific car, or are you just funding their general fleet? How does it work?
So again, going back to the last question when we talked about, as far as, because like these dealers they just want to make money.
Yes,
of
course. They're in business. They're business people, right? They want to make a spread on the car.
Yes,
and
I mean,
on.
he's sort of grown, like his dad was a dealer.
Oh,
like, so he was
coming to that.
He's been a dealer, like he's been a dealer like from birth, literally.
Okay.
I mean, so I think it's a space we quite understand. So one of the things that we did is that we built a system, I would say, that whereas like, so we're the dealers of record. Think about like Uber, but not doing taxis. So we just have like that structure where dealers can operate within our ecosystem. Right. So that's why, the cars are the collateral.
Right.
And I mean, we've done $250 million transactions, value of
in
vehicles.
turnover.
Yes.
In Nigeria.
Yeah, in Nigeria and Kenya now.
Yeah.
Right.
But predominantly Nigeria. Let's say 90% of it is Nigeria.
Yeah. Wow. And we still have 0% defaults, right? Wow. As far as the financing is concerned. And that's why like the banks are just, I remember, I mean, I don't know if I should mention names, but there are banks in Nigeria now where we started with 50 million. I remember YC days.
Yeah.
We started with 50 million naira in terms of access, but now we're doing over 5 billion.
Wow.
With one of them.
Right.
And there are many more.
Because they're comfortable with you.
Absolutely.
We've built that
system.
Credibility and track record in the business.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's exciting. From 50 million to 5 billion.
Yeah.
In Nigerian bank.
In Nigerian bank.
Okay, so tell us the secret. What have you done that's made you credit worthy to that extent? Because that's significant growth.
Yeah, I think if from the bank's perspective, it will be, first it starts with, do you value the right assets, the right way they want it? And also, again, banks care about liquidity, right? When it's time to get paid, do we get paid? If you don't get paid, what are the next moves? So we ensure the collateralized assets in this question. We help you liquidate it at the right time, you get your money at the right time. And that's what the bank wants. As long as you do that, see how much you need is what the bank is asking.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
So you've cracked open that market to some extent.
Yeah, we believe so. We believe so.
And that's really what we're trying to do. At the end of the day, dealers don't have access to capital because, first of all, they're not even structured. The banks don't understand them. The space is quite fragmented.
Yes.
So what we've done is just put structure in the space.
So you're an intermediary. You've come in and mediated in the market, and
you can say that, like the glue. Sort of,
It's quite exciting for me from a development perspective because I'm thinking, okay, you've done that for that industry, and I'm sure you're thinking this way as well. Okay, what next? Because it's the same model, right?
Yeah. So what next? When it comes to expansion, we're thinking of maybe grabbing more markets.
Yeah.
I understand that you probably think, can you do this in another vertical, right? But yes, the answer is probably yes. But for us right now, it's more focusing on expanding to other markets in Africa.
Yeah, and it's because like the market is quite huge.
Big.
We've not even scratched the surface, right? All these things that we say, like literally right now, maybe like it's talking about like still doing $100 million transactions in a year. We're still very.
I like the way you say 100 million. Like,
it's
I want to get to that stage.
In this place, like it's nothing.
No, it's absolutely nothing. Trust me. Like
100 million is a whole lot
again,
of money.
Again,
how much is a G-Wagon with the question?
So what G-Wagon is like, so pretty much
enough.
we see ourselves very on a clean path to doing transactions of over $1 billion. Quickly.
Dollars.
Yeah,
dollars.
Yeah. Over. I mean, where I'm
I want to get like you.
But our investors are American. Like, I mean, they invested USD, so I have to be thinking in dollars,
Yeah.
right? So
Especially if you're doing it across markets,
Yes.
not just
Yeah.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
No, it's impressive. It's,
Yeah.
it's impressive. So tell us about you two. How did you meet? Because partnership in Nigeria, you know, you speak to a lot of people and it's like everybody wants to do their own. And you two are partners. You're not related.
No.
no,
You
we
didn't
not-
go to school together.
same school, not together.
Okay, so
Do you want to go, Oshek?
Yeah, I think it will just. I'll probably start with how we met. 440. Yeah, 440 had an accelerator program.
an
So
accelerator.
Google
program.
has an accelerator program called 440.
Right.
One of the quotes was Mr. Easy at that
Okay.
time as well, and Chikamobi was one leading it. There was a friend of ours, mutual friend of ours, that had a startup there, and from there, I met him.
Okay.
Now I met him
No,
because
what had you gone there to do?
so I went to work for the guy
Okay.
free
Okay.
in exchange for introduction to an investor. And while I was there, it was I was kind of representing the sales department. So we're trying to make sales to some schools because it was an educational software play, and we couldn't because it was more like a B2B kind of sales. I wasn't used to B2B sales at that point. Then he just picked the call and made the sales to 2 schools on the spot. I was like, that's my co-founder.
Just like that.
So I met him after work. Like, see, I'm starting this startup. It does this. Easy Papers was the startup name at that time. Vehicle documentation.
And what were
service
you doing
provider.
at the time, apart from hanging around in accelerators, making calls?
So
what were you doing?
I mean, I had started my first business.
Okay.
When I was on campus, Obafemi University.
Okay.
Interesting. I mean, that's another story.
Another story.
I mean,
We'll get there. We'll go
another
back.
story. So, but at the time, you know, I just, you know, I had assessed my future, and I'm like, okay, because it was on campus, it was Ife. I also did a few things, went to work Venture Garden Group, you know, Lagos. But I always knew it was about enterprise building. So I just had to come to Lagos because my wife now, you know,
Right.
married for 10 years.
Okay.
So at the time she was, so I came to Lagos. I was looking to start something new,
Okay.
right? At the time.
So you were just hanging around the accelerator.
So I came with the same friend, Boye Oshinaga.
Okay.
So basically, I just came to help him as well. To be
Okay.
honest, like we're just there because I was incubating for the next idea.
Right.
You know, so
And so when he told you about this idea,
you know the interesting thing was so my car at the time, because I just moved to Lagos.
Right.
I mean, I just moved to Lagos, and it was almost the time I was going to renew my vehicle papers. So when he was talking to me, that was the first thing I was, because like this, I need this solution, right? You know, that's the first thing I was thinking about.
of becoming a customer, not
I was
a
like,
founder.
let me be a customer. Like that's the first thing I was thinking about. Pretty much that was the first thing. I wanted to
Right.
be a customer. And of course, you know, we now discussed and we said, okay, yes, there's something here. 10 years building together now. Of course,
Yeah.
we're very different. Even our dressing says so.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we're very different.
They are very different.
We're very different.
So we've started businesses separately. It never works
Right.
until we do it together.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So
So,
what skills? Okay, I'll ask you first. What does he bring that you don't have?
Okay, let me speak what I bring.
And you be
Then
thinking about what you're going to say. You're next. But
So,
what does he bring that you
I
don't
think I'm more conservative.
have? Right.
I'm more conservative, so I'll probably drift towards finance more, making it sustainable. He's more explosive, I'll say that, and exploratory. So he's
More of the risk taker.
Yeah, let's just go big or go home. If you have to die tomorrow, let's get it done. I'm like, no, I don't want to die tomorrow. So like that, we bring that yin and yang,
yeah.
and it makes it work out. Yeah.
What does he bring?
I mean, I quite agree. I think for the most part, he thinks a lot about like sustainability. You know, how do we ensure that this thing is, how are we still paying ourselves in next 2 years, 3 years? But I'm like, see, if we don't eat, let's solve the world's problem tomorrow, right? So it's just that sort of like balance, you know.
Right.
And of course, over time, we've learned to just lean on each other as far as
Right.
that's concerned.
Right.
Like some of the funds that we've raised, as we got to some stage, I'm like, see, what's the next thing? You know, we're just literally trying to move on to this, because see, you've got to just start thinking about how to
Yeah.
be relevant,
Yeah.
because the world is changing fast.
Absolutely. Great. So let me ask you about fundraising, because you touched on it. I know you've raised significant money. You just raised 20 million, another
Yes.
$20 million.
Yes,
Yeah, not announced yet.
Not announced.
But again, it's fine.
It's okay. So you just raised another 20, but you started with a really interesting structure, which was debt and equity.
Yes.
Who structured that for you? Who's the finance person? Who thought that through? What was going through your head?
So to be honest, we try to evolve, learn as much as we can we lean on advisors as well.
Okay.
We have very good investors. Ventures platform, Y
Right.
Combinator helps.
Right.
Mark Ventures help as well. So we lean more on some of the expertise that they bring
Right.
in-house as well. Although we also have originality of our own thoughts as well. Sometimes you're like, oh, this is what I want to do. You reach out to the investors and they tell you, yeah, we have someone that's done it before. Let's reach out to the person on your behalf.
Right.
Some of the debt providers we've gone through, like introduced by some of the investors. Seed Stars being one of them. So they assisted in introducing some of the investors. So in summary, we have in-house talent, we have our own originality of thoughts, we have investors that help out as well.
And you merge them together
Yes.
to get what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that fundraising, because a lot of, young entrepreneurs, they watch this, right? And they, and everybody in business is like, money. I want money. I want money. I have a personal view, which I'll share it here, which is that, money sometimes is the answer and money sometimes isn't the answer, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So with your experience, how, when did you decide, okay, we need to raise money? And then how did you go about it?
Okay. So I'll say this is not our first company together.
Yes.
The last company we didn't.
Okay, so tell us your first time of raising money. When did you first
Like
say, okay,
ever?
let's go and raise money
as
as a
As
partnership?
partner.
okay. So the first company we had together, Easy Paper, is the one he was talking about that we went. Like honestly, we didn't really raise a lot of money.
Right. Did you make it? Did you make much money?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So and that's really sort of the foundation, because for us, in fact, the company that we Shekel now, before we raised a dime, we had processed $5 million transactions. As far as that's concerned. So
you had tested the concept.
yes,
You had proof of
100%,
concept.
and it's actually very important.
I agree.
Because see, I always tell people that it's like you want to go on a journey, you've not gone there before, and you want to take people there. It doesn't make you should it's not even wise for you. Like you're now confused alongside, right? I know that yes, maybe Silicon Valley, there's a lot of different stuff, and because the market has structure, that's why some of these people can do this. But a lot of times, find a pain, start solving, understand. That's why I talked about the sequence. See, it's first about that. Until you know what you want to use money for, you might end up wasting the money, and now you've lost part of the company, and maybe even your credibility as well.
Well, not maybe.
Because for me, my philosophy is investors. See, I invest as well. Investors invest in two things: either in people or the business.
Yeah.
Now, so if you've not started at all, it's probably you already have a reputation of someone that's done it before.
Yeah.
I would imagine some successful entrepreneurs already. It's a lot easier for them to raise funds.
Of course.
Because you've done things before, so they're investing in you.
Yeah.
If we don't know you, then you should show us at least a basic unit of you doing it, right?
Yeah.
If you've not done it, why should I give you money, right?
Yeah.
And it's some of the things that I have learned over the years. In the beginning, you're thinking, oh, I have this great idea. Why is no one giving me money?
No.
They can't give you money now.
Ideas are dime a dozen.
especially
right?
in this
Anybody
age.
can have an idea.
Especially
Right?
in this age, building is very easy. Just think
Yeah.
about something.
In fact,
like
it should be easier right now. I remember in our own time growing up, there was no AI. There was no ChatGPT. I wish I had AI growing up. Because all this is a lot easier.
Yeah.
Now, the basics, I don't even need any experts. Like, you can drop a basic contract agreement without a lawyer right now.
Yeah.
And almost the things I had to learn, cash flow, balance sheets, just impute it on Claude and you have it. And you're wondering, if I can just compress 10 years, I can do everything I've done in 10 years, like in a week.
No, I agree. I mean, I think AI is transformational in terms of what it can do. That said, I do feel that if there's it can make you very lazy. You sit down, what used to take a week to do a spreadsheet is taking a couple of days.
Yeah.
And as they say at the bottom, AI can make mistakes.
Yeah, it does.
So if you yourself don't know it,
So you need to prove it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
What I always say is that I think the beginning it should start with you and end with you.
I agree.
I mean, there's a lot of in-betweens
Yeah.
that maybe AI can do
Help with,
faster,
yeah.
right? So, but the problem is now is that we see that, I mean, sometimes I see some emails and I'm like, what are you, like, am I talking to a robot?
Yeah.
So like the essence of you, is missing.
Yes.
Right. So
I
yeah.
agree.
But of course, like, I think
And
we should
now
leverage
we
AI a
know,
lot. Yeah.
right? People know.
People know.
Right,
People
so
know.
you can tell,
What is
this
this?
has an AI feel.
Yeah.
You can,
Yes, yes.
Not that there's anything wrong with AI, but you're right. It's got
Yeah,
to
so-
start and it's got to help. It's a tool.
It's a tool.
It's a tool. It's
So
completely.
you can imagine an AI listening in for you into meetings. when you're not there and summarizing everything for you when you're done and with actionable plans.
It's like someone I was talking to someone and was talking about like, oh, I don't use it. I'm like, see, it's just like when we're using manual cars.
Yeah.
And then someone says, I only want to drive manual. I mean, I still hear some people say that they want to run. But like, really, I think it has come to stay.
Yes.
So it definitely needs to be leveraged.
No, it's going nowhere. It's to be leveraged and to be managed.
Absolutely.
And not to be feared.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in my opinion. So let's take you back, because we were talking about fundraising and how one thing I've noticed about people that are fundraising, they're always on the road. They're always traveling. They're always presenting. How grueling is that process of raising money?
Very grueling. Your spouse has to understand.
Really?
That's where we start from. Because it'll be like, you're traveling again.
That's a message to his wife. Understand.
It'll be like, you're traveling again. Where are you going? They said we have to come to UK tomorrow. You have to be in the US.
Yeah.
But like he also mentioned earlier, I think we, on our own part, I can't speak for others. On our own part, we don't raise for reason's sake. You have to be a specific reason why you're raising. Sometimes we are almost like about to raise. I mean, no, we don't need it anymore. So you take a step back. Maybe because of our first startup, we didn't have to raise a lot.
Right.
So we learned to grind it out, solve real problems. Is the consumer buying? If the consumer is buying, you have the money. What exactly are you raising for? Can you grow internally? So for us, our investors definitely make it easier. I would say that. Y Combinator especially.
Right. That's a big name to have behind you.
Yeah, it's a big name.
How did that happen?
So we were rejected the first time we applied. The first time we applied, we were rejected. He got the mail, and it was, in Y Combinator, if you get a mail, you are rejected.
Oh, really? That's how you know?
If you get a WhatsApp call, you're accepted.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got the mail like, nah, we rejected you. So they advised to reapply the next time.
What did you do between rejection and success? What did you change?
Sales, more sales. We didn't really change much in the business. We just had more sales.
Right. So they wanted more proof. That
they were bothered. Yes.
That you said of, fire bullets before cannonballs.
Absolutely.
Show me this thing works.
They were bothered. Again, they didn't have the African context. So
Right.
they were bothered that this would not go, maybe did not be accepted in the space.
In the market, right.
Until when your number shows that it's been accepted, the question is why not? So when we applied the second time, we got a mail again. I was like, they rejected us again. Then we read the mail. They said we are going to have another interview the next day. We got on the call, waiting for Michael Sibel. It didn't join for like 10 minutes. And typically the calls are like 15 minutes.
Okay.
It didn't join for like the first 10 minutes. We were like, we sent him a mail. We're on the call. Where are you? And he joined. He said, he just wanted to tell you in person. You have been accepted to Y Combinator.
Wow.
It was a very interesting, because to be honest, like, I remember when we were talking, like I said, we were taking a walk in San Francisco at some point, and it was like, guys, the reason why we just took you guys was just the consistency. Like, they were like, so a lot of, I don't want to mention them, but some of the partners were like, see, no dealer is going to use a tech platform in Africa. So they had some concerns, but they just looked at the traction, like these guys are growing fast.
Right.
There's something
There's
here.
something here.
And of course, also the fact that we've been in the mobility space so they're like, see, and that's what YC does, right? They look for founders, right?
Yes.
If there's anything in the mobility space, these guys are gonna crack it.
And some of their concerns originally were valid, to be honest.
What were their concerns, and how did you?
So when they said the dealerships are not going to use the software, it was the way it was at that time. The software you had at that time.
Right.
There was no reason. Thinking back now,
right,
there's no reason for them to have used it at that point beyond money, which they had concerns about. But like they mentioned, you are going to figure it out. That's why we're investing in.
And you
guys.
figured it out.
Yeah, 250 yeah, we figured it out, I guess.
I mean,
there's some tech part of your business, because you are the business people, and you've got some tech partners. Tell me how you translate from the business idea to the tech. How does that handshake?
Like we say, the first thing is, starts with paying. Understand provide a service. I always tell people that don't even get to a product first. Try to start with a service. Right. Whatever you want to do, like, start today. A lot of times I hear people are building, you're sitting in your dorm, you're building something for 6 months, 1 year, and you're not talking to the customer. I feel like that's actually selfish. So once you understand what the customer needs, then you automate it. Right. So it's very clear, to come up with like a functional requirement document.
How big is Shekel Mobility in terms of staff now?
Compared to most startups, we try to run very lean.
Of course, and you should.
Yeah, so we're in about 33.
Yeah, 33.
Staff members.
That's not small.
In tech, that's small.
No, it's
Really?
actually our tech team is probably like
A lot of people
50%.
had, people had 100 staffs.
But it depends what they're doing.
Yeah, again, in our own space.
You're B2B with a very homogenous customer type.
Yep.
So I'm not sure that you do need an army of...
Yeah, so half of our workforce are tech.
Right.
So
There's a lot of tech
building. Yeah,
Right.
because again, AI, like we mentioned, AI is coming to space. Even though I won't say what our AI is going to be doing in future, because it's trade secrets. But the idea is to replace a lot of the activities going on in the industry with AI.
Right.
Because I personally see a future where everyone is running auto dealerships as a side gig. And again, if you don't have to physically exert yourself, the question is why not?
So, do you see Shekel Mobility going down to consumer, or will you remain B2B?
I would say that at the core, right? Even though our mission is just make auto trade, more predictable. So yes, we'll impact the end user, but I think not directly.
Right.
So one of the things that we're doing is like we're helping the dealer.
Right.
Obviously, helping the dealer then means that you might, need to sort of see how you connect to the consumers. Right. Make it easy to
for the
find,
dealer to
exactly.
Right.
Make it easy to find a dealer, because I think we're talking to the US consulate recently, and then he was talking about like how they wanted to, one of the new person that came in.
Yeah, so one of the staffs that just came into the country was trying to purchase his vehicle as well. And finding that right dealerships was kind of an issue.
You don't even know who to trust.
Yeah.
That's why it's a very, that space is, super fragmented.
It's quite fragmented.
Yes. So the way we operate is just to focus on them, just ensure that we're strengthening their business. Right. Because we don't want to you don't have to start something new. There's a lot that they can do. They can focus on selling. Just help them do what they want to do. Of course, like we say, we help dealers find, finance, fulfill, and sell cars smarter.
And they are also close to the end consumer anyways.
Yes.
They are closer to them. Even if you assume you solve technologically, Lagos, let's just assume. Yeah, Cardinal is doing that, right? Some people still want a rep that is close to them that they can go to. It's just the nature of the industry, especially when it comes to cars. People like to see it before they purchase.
Yes.
So I would not necessarily think in the immediate it can be resolved technologically without you just having access to the vehicles before you purchase. Again, that's my own thoughts.
No,
that can change tomorrow.
It sounds valid. Change is part of business. So let's go back, because your dad was a car dealer, and so you grew up in car dealing. You grew up in enterprise. Both parents.
Yeah, my mom was a trader. Was a trader.
And your parents?
Oh, my mom a businesswoman, but like my dad worked in.
Oil and gas. Yeah.
No, I don't know.
He's nepo baby.
That's what he thinks, right? Again,
he looks a bit nepo though.
No, I don't. I feel like the reason why he says that is because he was really.
He went to the trenches with me. I was wondering. I remember him asking me, "How do you go from here?"
No, we're not poor, but we're not rich. I feel like maybe the reason why he's saying that is because of when he was his own level.
Yeah.
No, my dad is not rich.
But again.
Well, that's no problem. But where I was going,
okay.
The question I wanted to ask you was, how much influence did growing up have on your desire to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I would say my dad was very disciplined.
Okay.
And was very thrifty.
Okay.
That's why I tilt towards conservatism, right? So my dad would say you have to live between your means. Again, that also shows in the way I approach business primarily. And again, maybe because it's Nepo, that's why it's like, let's go, we can go.
Nepo.
So again,
Nepo, answer to your name.
Okay, I'll take it, whatever it is. But the point is, I think one of the things that my dad did, because as much as they say my dad was Nepo, my dad still did some very my dad took some allowances that he should have used to stay in comfortable places, sleep on the floor in his office. He works at NMPC, by the way, but so he had to still do this kind of stuff to just give us the best education. So that's why I feel like, we're not Nepo, because he just sort of the man who saw tomorrow, that kind of stuff, right? So, and that's why for me, yes, he did give us some exposure, and that's why I just want to it's thinking about that, my view of life as well is just seeing how we can, give the best of us, even if we think because at the end of the day, when you think about having stuff, right, it can never be enough.
So did you know you were going to be a business person? Did you ever see yourself as a career person?
I found out later,
In
when you graduated, what did you want to do?
Before I graduated, I knew I was going to do business.
Straight.
2006, that was my 200 level.
Okay.
I decided I was going to do business. Again, I've been reading a lot of my dad's books.
What did you read?
Rich Dad Poor Dad, Multiple Streams of Income by
Okay.
Robert G. Allen.
Yeah.
Richest Man in Babylon.
Okay.
Babylon,
Rich
yeah.
Man in
So
Babylon.
that was those are some of his books.
Right.
And coupled with the fact that there was an incident that happened at my 200 level, that was when I decided now. So in 200
You're going
level,
for it.
one of my scripts was missing for one of my exams. And the lecturer said, that means you didn't come for the exam. But I said I came for the exam. Checked the attendance sheet. My name was there. Said someone else signed on my behalf. And from there, I was like, nah, this is the last time somebody's controlling my life. I'm done.
Seriously?
Yeah, that was when I made that.
And you walked away?
Yeah, I failed the course. It was about 101.
Wow.
I failed the course. And that was the last time.
So what did you now do?
Of course, I retook the course. There was a back and forth between myself and my dad if I was going to graduate or not.
Yeah.
400 level, I was having exams, by the way. So I wouldn't advise anyone to do it. I wish I can take it back and do it another way right now. I could have done entrepreneurship and still graduated first class. Because I'm still in first class till 200 level. Then 300 level, I just stopped going to class.
Right.
I was trying to figure out what kind of business. Till I graduated, and the idea never came to me, by the way. But I just knew I wanted to do business.
Right.
And luckily, when I met him, it made it a lot easier for me to get into business. But at no point did I consider being an employee.
Never?
Never.
Have you ever worked for anybody?
No.
Wow.
I mean,
yeah, but it was tough. I wish I had.
Really? So what do you think you missed?
Structure.
Okay.
That's one of the things I think being an employee brings.
Right.
If you work in a structured environment, you don't have to learn on the job.
Right.
Again, maybe there's a good side to it. It means even if I was just making just 50K a month, it's a progress from zero.
Yeah.
Now, if I was an employee and I was being paid 500K, a million naira, it means that's the base my business has to pay me. Otherwise, I'm sacrificing something.
Yes.
So I never felt I was sacrificing anything.
Because you had no floor.
I had nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, so
right.
Secondary
Straight out
school.
of uni.
Yeah.
What did you do?
No, out of uni, I had a game center.
Okay.
You know, so I've done a few things,
Okay.
right? But it was not a business. But I've been making money from secondary school. I've always been an entrepreneur.
Okay.
But I think the first business started from when I was out of campus. You know, we're staying off campus.
Right.
You know, and there was a situation where like everybody was always complaining about food. The only food that was always available was bread and akara. And I complained actually too for like 2 months. And I guess one day I was just working and I was like, why are you complaining? Why not just solve the problem?
Yeah.
I was the least person qualified to do this because I didn't even know how to cook. I didn't even have the funds. And that was the first,
business.
Yes, business.
How did it feel?
It took my life. I feel like, because like I stopped going home for, the holidays. I was just sitting down, writing different things. I was envisioning.
You're going to be McDonald's.
I was just writing everything, and it was actually very funny because when you get to a point where you just know that, okay, say something, else, it's like, that's the only thing I could see. Because I was consumed by just something.
Yeah. You were creating value.
Absolutely.
You were creating value. And I think there's something in creating value that...
something I started with a loan of 50,000 naira from a friend.
How big did you
That's what I'm saying. I'm not a Nepo baby, because if I was a Nepo baby, I would
have... You had a car.
But I'm like, anyway, so I started with a loan of 50,000 naira.
How far did you grow it?
So in 2 years, we're doing revenues of like 5 million naira.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and this was like 2008 and 9.
5 million was money then.
Yeah. I mean,
it still is, but I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, revenues.
And you were still studying.
It was never broke. Studying. It was never broke.
Were you ever broke?
Yeah. A lot.
How does that affect your business style? Ever being broke?
I still always naturally drift towards sustainability.
Right.
Again, it helps. He says it helps.
No, I'm sure it does.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you don't go running too fast with Nepo. You're slowing down sometimes.
Yeah,
but it's great to see your chemistry and the way you kind of interact, and I can see why your partnership works.
So the only part our employees never get to see is when we have a shouting match.
I was just about to ask you about that.
We
when
do
you
have shouting matches a lot.
Okay, so how when you really go for it, you say it as it is. How do you settle?
So the way we view it is...
Are there rules, or do you just let it flow?
We just both know that we have our heart in the right places.
Right.
We see the business as our baby. whatever the other person said is because he's thinking the best for the business. And so, yeah, the person says whatever I want to say in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
You go back and think about it and as matured minds and say, see, the person has a point.
Okay.
Now, who has the best point?
Okay.
That's where you're good. Who
makes peace first out of the two of you?
Who makes what?
Peace.
We don't talk about it. You know, like you just
really?
shouted and you're done.
That's it?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is
really?
the first thing is what you said around the baby. Like we see the business as a baby. Just like oftentimes, especially married now, when you're matured, like there's not everything you just, sometimes you just settle things. But I think one other thing that helps is just relationship with God, right? Because like at the end of the day, like if you don't forgive somebody else, you're still holding yourself down. So I think we've just learned to just move past things.
So we've had
some a
blazing round, okay?
Yes.
You walk out, you slam the door.
Yeah.
Who's the person that calls the other one that says, okay, what next? Who makes that first call?
I don't think we've ever called that way. No.
Okay.
So it's always like, okay, we have a shouting match just now, and we ended up to call that way. It could be in the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
A business issue comes up. If I see his phone call, I know it's over. Like, hello, there's another to do. Like, you can't get it done.
Okay.
And
so you've never had to have like somebody sit down and say,
I think we have.
Like a mediator?
Yes.
I mean,
I
we
think
have. But
there was one issue.
no, mediator.
I think
even this year, like, I mean, not mediator. We didn't have to have a mediator. I think it was just the fact that, we had to just call each other and like, see, this was, we talked about it briefly and then we moved back. Like in the same call. Like on the same call, we're like, see, I don't like this. I don't like that one. To be honest, like it was actually for me, it was serious because I was on the receiving end, right?
It took you personal.
So I took that. I had to just, after like 1 week, in fact, for like to first, the Holy Spirit was telling me something. I'm like, I'm not interested in listening. Like I want to crunch this out, right? But of course, after a while, I just had to pick up the phone.
The two of you just sound like a married couple. It's just amazing. It just sounds like an old married couple, which is great.
The word you just used
Yeah.
Is exactly the word our wife used. So most times when his call comes in, let's say like 9 p.m. at night, my wife will like, not again. Because we're going to be on the call for 3 hours.
Wow.
Sometimes it's not like you're speaking for 3 hours.
Yeah.
You just speak for like 1 hour and we still leave the phone on.
That's fantastic. I mean, it sounds as if you have such a great partnership. I can see why your business is going to grow. I can see why your business is going to grow.
I think that's one of the things some of our investors have mentioned as well. It seems like the great chemistry between the teams.
Amazing chemistry. Amazing chemistry and complementary energies, I see. And then, in a space that, honestly, until I think I bumped into each other in the airport, until you start to explain, you actually had to explain what you did. Because I was trying to figure it out. Okay, that's what they're doing. And that for me, I'm speaking from a Nidacity perspective, is incredibly exciting because it's a hidden business and it's part of the infrastructure that we need to grow, right? People need to be able to get cars. For them to get cars, dealers need to be better stocked, more quickly stocked.
Exactly.
Not waiting for 4 months to get a particular car, and you are bridging that gap and making a profit. And it's incredible. It's
the banks are making profits too.
Yeah, everybody's allowed to
Everybody
make
has
profit.
to make,
Everybody there's enough for everybody in the value chain. But I mean, it's very exciting to see. And so, how do you see the market growing?
I think for one, is underserved, largely underserved. So today, I think Africa has, the last counts, about $30 billion transactions that happens every year. And when we think about the growth potential, is growing fast at double digits every year. One of the metrics that we were bothered about is the fact that the motorization rates in Africa is about, last time we checked, about less than 5%. And this is compared to like over 80% motorization in the place like the US, for example. And when we say motorization, what does it mean? Like just access to vehicles, right? So it's still a very grossly underserved market. And of course, by some of the things that we are doing, right, seeing how we can provide liquidity, how we can, make the process seamless. A lot of conversations with suppliers in different markets, and because at the end of the day, I mean, even if when we start producing vehicles, there's still a lot of brands that Chinese vehicles, US vehicles, different places that there's also a lot of partnerships coming, from them, where they also want to see how they can support, Africa. So I'd say that in the next 2-3 years, we expect this market to I don't want to say double as far as some of the impacts that we see ourselves.
But you see it fast growth.
Absolutely.
So what I also see would be a case where the cost of running a dealership is significantly lower.
Okay.
The barrier is lower.
Okay.
For example, an average person can't say he wants to run a dealership the way we want to run it today, where the guy is thinking of getting a car lot in a prime location because you need foot traffic.
Yeah.
Then you also need money for the inventory. So once all that is solved for you, including sourcing from Western world, made it easier for you from the comfort of your phone, then anyone should be able to join in with the shared economy kind of thing as well, where you don't necessarily have to go and get your own car lot and stuff like that. So we significantly reduce the cost of running dealerships. Then this would be a side gig for almost everyone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but honestly, when I think about it, like, first of all, it's like, before we even start getting to, like, changing stuff, like, today, if you can see us in meetings with dealers, like, they hugely need this, right? One of the things that's been, we always have a long wait list, before so it's like we're raising money
to onboard people.
Yes,
really.
the money we just raised is gone.
Wow.
Right, and this is just even, we're limiting our operations to, Nigeria and Kenya for strategic reasons. Just the right-hand drives and left-hand drives.
Okay.
That because once we have that, most of the suppliers are telling us they have dealers in Ghana, they have dealers in neighboring countries, East Africa, Tanzania. Like, suppliers are already telling us, can we go there? And we're like, before we get to that market, we need to have this sorted.
Yeah.
So I think for us, the space that we're in, like, we're not even looking for customers, as it were. We're just trying to ensure that we go build the infrastructure, we go raise the funds that they need that will help their business run. And that's really where just ensuring that the system is optimized, and that's why I said double. Like, even people have opportunities that they're not able to leverage today, right? So let's just optimize the space first. And then, there's tons of creativity up our sleeves that we want to bring on.
So, you're serial entrepreneurs, right?
In a way, yeah.
Both of you?
Yes.
Yeah. It just occurred to me as you were talking. I was thinking, these people are probably on their next. There's probably another project already cooking, and that you're just waiting to.
The world, there's so many problems. As many problems there are, as many opportunities. I feel like sometimes can I just make myself?
Can I do it all?
Can I just be four?
But the beauty of it is, one of the things entrepreneurial, especially venture-backed entrepreneurship, has done for you is give you access, at least on a personal level, to some capitals, either from what you've made it yourself, also from maybe banks feeling comfortable lending you money. Personally, that you can now not necessarily have to go and do those ideas. You could do it through someone else. So, like, somebody pitches an idea to you and say, okay, this makes sense. Or you just need 5 million to do it, 10 million to do it.
Okay, we can invest in that.
So invest in them.
Let me ask you a question about relationships, because you touched on, I'm not talking about relationships between the two of you. I'm talking about, vertical relationships. How have you worked to do that? How important have they been to you? You talked about the fact that you were at this Combinator because you were offering free services. That's a relationship build strategy. How important, and I'm not talking to me now, you're talking to young entrepreneurs who are behind you. How important are relationships, and how?
Relationships are incredibly invaluable. They are the cheapest and the most expensive things to get at the same time, because the person needs to trust you enough to want to stick their neck out for you.
Right.
At the same time, I could tell you countless things that even if you have the money, it wouldn't make a difference. But the relationship made a difference. Right. Not to mention somebody specifically. So there was a lady in an embassy that's incredibly hard to get a visa. And we needed to get a visa in 2 weeks. And we needed to be in the country. She made it happen. Now, if I had $10 million back,
you couldn't have
it doesn't
done
matter. It doesn't matter. So the relationships, and even in our own space, for example, talking about the dealerships, right? You could spend tons advertising to businesses to say, hey, come to us. But a single dealer that controls them, being someone that already buys into your vision, makes it easier for you to convince them. So I would say, even down to what I would say is our biggest problem, biggest headache. Let me say problem, biggest headache would be finding the right talent. Usually, I've learned that you employ the right people. by being introduced to them, somebody recommending, not through people submitting CVs to you. So those, imagine for both sides, this person introduced me to the employee, that relationship. The employee getting that job is because he knows someone that is recommending you and vouching for you. So I would say relationships accelerate you.
Yeah.
Even Jesus Christ introducing you to God is a relationship.
I mean, the relationship is everything, like it's rightly said. I mean, I don't think there's a lot to add, but I would say, I mean, today, especially in Africa, Nigeria, we see a lot of people going to church, but they don't even have a relationship with God, right? So it's, you can have your Bible, you don't have a relationship with it. It's like the relationship is just the life, you know, that connects and brings out something.
How did you fund your first ever business? I mean, you've talked about your university days and your hustles and so on, but your first main business, how did you fund it?
Okay.
And how difficult was that fundraising process?
Okay. Well, I'll say that our first business together, Easy Papers.
Yeah.
So we funded it by, you know, talking to friends and family. So
actually, the guy that dropped the money was my brother's best man.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was pitching randomly to people. Right. I talk about my business everywhere I go. So I pitched to him on my brother's wedding day. He didn't drop it then. I think just
he was the best man at a wedding.
My brother's wedding.
And you were pitching.
I pitched the business to him.
Yeah. So that was how we raised the first one.
A good one.
But then I think we didn't really want to raise money for that business because it was super clear.
Okay.
I mean, it was B2B as well.
Right.
We're working with Coca-Cola, we're working with Uber. So, but I think what we had to, you know, at some point the new investor, it was in fact a billionaire in Nigeria, you know, was chasing us, wanted to invest in our business. And for a year, we said, we just want you to introduce us to, you know, companies. And he was like, you guys want to tell me to...
It doesn't work this way. You want to turn me to a salesman.
So eventually we had to, you know, bring on it. So, but obviously the first business, because he didn't really need money. But for this one, for Shekel Mobility, we said we use our own money,
right,
you know, to start it out.
Right.
And then we processed $5 million transactions, you know, before we even spoke to any investors.
So that first $5 million worth of business was based on what you had.
Our own money.
You were just turning over your own money.
Relationships, you know, for the most part.
Then
banks.
Debts to an extent.
Okay,
exactly.
you borrowed.
We did, debt.
How did you find Nigerian banks to borrow from when you started?
No?
No. Nigerian banks, in the beginning, no way.
Friends.
Really?
No chance.
They sent you packing.
Which
did you ask? Did you go? Because a lot of people say the banks don't want to lend. They don't even go and knock on the door.
So the highest, so GTB wouldn't know they gave us, by the way. So they gave the quick credit 10 million naira that they were giving at that time.
Yeah,
we took it. It's for part of what we used to fund the venture when we started.
Right.
And we got it from the billionaire mentioned. We got extra 50 million naira from him.
Okay.
And
is the billionaire happy with you?
He is. He has to be
excited.
He calls me his son.
No, like right now, because we brought him into this business.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, but I think one of the things I wanted us to also mention is, you know, those days.
How did you meet the billionaire?
Okay. So the way we met him was he had a cousin. The cousin.
Should we even track back to meeting sisters?
Yeah. So it was in sisters. So he had a cousin that was part of the accelerator program in sisters, which sisters invested in us at that time. So the cousin was there, and the cousin told him, because he said he was on the lookout for investments. And the cousin told him, I think you need to talk to these guys.
I think
there's a lesson there for people, you know, that say, oh, how do I meet investors? It's always a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. You've always got to start from where you are.
Recommendation.
Yeah.
Recommendation helps.
Yeah, you know when we met sisters.
The way we met sisters, by the way, was... so
sisters are who? Sorry,
sisters is a Swiss investor,
right?
Swiss VC,
right?
So they came to Nigeria at that time. They were trying to look for startups to invest in,
right?
And we were doing vehicle documents, delivering to people's houses. So we had a meeting on the Highland that day. We would have typically send a dispatch to deliver it, but we were like, see, we are going to the island. But as well, let's keep this 1,000. So we decided to deliver it ourselves. And the guy said, you guys can't be dispatched right now. Are you the founder? I say yes. Oh, they're in Nigeria to invest. I said, oh, really? Wow. That was the only physical meeting we had.
Wow.
The rest was via WhatsApp. I think we had 2 more WhatsApp calls and they invested in the business.
Yeah.
So that's how we got the 2 major investors in that company.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Wow. There's a lesson there.
But the next one was easy.
Right.
Right. Because we had that already.
By the time you've done the first one is always the hardest, right? It's the hardest to break people down, to understand. And I think what people don't understand about the investment ecosystem is we all talk.
Yeah.
everybody talks.
You can say that again.
Everybody talks. I mean, I'm giving you an example now that is analogous, but when I was minister, we went out to raise money for Nigeria. And we started with our early morning road show. We had about 6, it was a road show, London, New York, San Francisco, and back to London. It was, those kind of circular road show. By the time we had done the first presentation in London, people were calling from San Francisco because people call each other. It's a very small ecosystem. So once you break in, you're in. But I also think, and taking from what you said, how you break in is also important because people also break in negatively, right?
Exactly.
It works both ways. There are also calls going around saying, don't touch these people. So how you present, how you prepare, obviously is
your name is everything in the industry.
I was also going to like, so when we were going to start this new business, of course, the traction was clear, so when Ventures Platform, the first meeting it did, it just, we're in already. But the point is, even the person, that introduced us, I'd been talking to him about, investments. But I think for him, it was the fact that, okay, this was not what he wanted to invest in. So when investors know, what they want to invest in,
And doing your research to know what their appetite is.
So that's another thing we learned during Y Combinator days. So we spoke for our demo day, we spoke to about 80 investors. And we got 68 no's. We got numbers. Wow. We got 12 yeses. Again, 12 is what you need.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be 12. We don't need all the 68.
Yeah.
So every time an investor says no, we'll figure out the reason. We have to do a debrief. Why this person saying no? Can we do something about it?
Did you learn from those no's?
Obviously. The no's are more important.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they refine your pitch to the next person. Right. So by the time we are going to get the first yes, it seems like an almost perfect pitch, but because of the no's you got.
And what were the biggest no's? What did you really have to work on?
Africa.
Really?
You have to answer the question of Africa, which is, if you want the same idea, I will have funded it for US. Now it's Africa. You have to give me extra reason why the government doing their own political stuff will not affect you.
Right.
So it's something that you have to prepare for as an investor, as an entrepreneur in Africa.
Right.
You have to figure out to answer that question.
Right.
Some investors will still tell you, even if you responded to it and say you've addressed the FX challenge, you're still saying, "Nah, I'm still not doing it."
Yeah, for the most part.
Do we need more investors from within Nigeria?
As long as the company wants to go global. If Africans are not investing, why should a foreigner do it?
This is the problem. Yeah, and it's a big one.
I remember when there was liquidity events for PayPal. There's a lot of money coming into the space. So a lot of entrepreneurs in Nigeria as well, like, when you start making money, it's not for you to go, just buy a property.
They're going to buy
abroad, something like that. It's for you to also let the money trickle down. Right.
Yeah. I need to say thank you.
Thank you.
To both of you for coming and for sharing your story and your experience and your energy, which is just so infectious and so exciting. And, we're celebrating what we call Nidacity, Nigerian audacity. You are an amazing $250 million and growing example of Nigerian audacity. And we're really proud of you. And thank you so much for this time, and have learned a huge amount about partnership, about risk, about going for it, about being conservative when you need to as well. Excellent. Thank you so much. So this has been The Builders. Kemi Adeosun for Nidacity. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please like, please share, and please continue to have the Nigerian audacity to make profit in Nigeria.